Okay, hi everybody. So my name is Matt. Some of you I was able to meet at the coaches meeting last Sunday, but not everybody. You've had the opportunity now to sort of edit your calendar, and I've logged a lot of hours just trying to get it to where it was, and basically I didn't want to stand in the way of your schedule being as best it could be, so I have given you the opportunity to edit. Now it's back into view mode only. Now I got to submit that schedule to the TBA and the YSBA, Toronto Baseball Association, and the York Simcoe Baseball Association. We are competing in what is called an interlock league, and they need these schedules to get up on the website. Now, just because it gets posted on the website, it doesn't mean that things cannot still change. We know that the weather's going to be giving us some rain and even snow in this baseball season. So as changes are needed, they're going to be communicated to me, and then I'll make the change on the website. Now that I have everyone's date in place, the main goal is to make sure that everything is transferred correctly, and you will be getting start times for your diamonds, and you'll be getting diamond names and locations. It's your job to make sure that what I post is correct. The main goal of this video, and I did a video only because I thought we'd have a different forum besides email, and I teach e-learning right now, so a lot of the things I do are videos. So this is something that Stephen Davis shared with the AAA teams, and no matter if you're minor rookie or major rookie, the rules are the same. And the rules are the same for any division, AA, AAA, or single A. Just about the divisions again, the divisions are really determined by the center. There will be a difference, obviously, but that doesn't mean you only have to play A teams or B teams or AAA teams. If you want to play teams more often than others because you think it will be a better game, then do so. Really, these games are, like I said before, an exhibition, and as long as we can get the same amount of games listed, we can get proper positioning for the playoffs. And the playoffs are really what will determine, we'll take more seriously in terms of who's playing who, properly seeded. Now, last year, every rookie ball team got to go to OBA. And it sounds like things are changing this year where not everybody is guaranteed an OBA entry. They don't know what the outcome's going to be yet, and that's coming in July. So when I hear anything, I will communicate that. So right now our playoffs are August 17, 18, and 19. And potentially you have to win it or come top two in order to get to the OBAs. But let's just talk about the rules here. This is only going to be a 15-minute video max, and I'm already going on too long. Games, 7-inning games. Games can end in a tie. You play with 10 players. You play with 4 in the outfield. You can play with 9. Just talking about the outfield quickly, you can play 4 across, or you can play with what we call a rover over top of second. Now the rule is you have to be 15 feet behind second by the time the ball is hit. And especially the minor rookie teams, you might want to play with a rover as opposed to 4 across, because you'll notice that most of the game is played on the infield. For the rookie ball teams, they are a year stronger, and you might find 4 across is a better defense, but I'll leave it up to you. 5 innings shall constitute an official game. 3 outs an inning, and there is a 7-run inning mercy. The mercy rule is something you'll have to get used to. It's 18 runs after 3 innings, 15 runs after 4, and then 10 runs after 5 innings or anything after that. The pitcher. Now this is a big one, and I'll send these rules out so you have a copy too. But this rule about the pitcher, because we're going to play with a pitching circle, diameter is 8 feet. If you have to do your own chalking, you find your point and a 4-foot radius on each side. So the rules about the pitcher is that the pitching machine is inside the circle, the coach is inside the circle, and then you should have these lines that are about 4 feet that go out on the sides of the circle, and that's where your pitcher stands. The pitcher can't stand way back here or way out in front. They have to be touching the line. I found that it was always useful to have the pitcher on the 1 foot on the line, and based on what type of hitter or who I had playing second base or shortstop, I sort of put the pitcher on the third base side or the first base side. They can move to either side, but the ball, if the ball goes hit and goes through the circle, not touching the pitching machine, not touching the coach, not touching the power cord, it's a live ball. If it goes clean through, it's a live ball. If it hits the machine, hits the coach, or hits the power cord, it's called a dead ball, and the batter gets first base, and the runners only move up if they're forced to move up. So if there's nobody on first, when the ball is declared dead, that runner on second, let's say, stays at second. Now you have a runner at first and second. Now, coaches, you have to make the attempt to get out of the way. You're going to be dealing with teenage umpires, and there's going to be lots of issues with that. Do not give that umpire extra work by trying not to get out of the way, realizing that if you get hit by a slow roller, your player gets first base. That's poor baseball etiquette. You should be making the attempt to get out of the way. Sometimes you get hit, and hopefully it doesn't hurt, but please make the attempt to get out of the way. If there's any issues with that, let me know, and I will deal with the coach in terms of sending them some sort of message reminder about baseball etiquette. The other big rule that happens is the pitcher goes for the ball and puts his foot inside the circle. What I suggest you do is clarify the rules with the umpire before the game starts. Is it a dead ball if the pitcher puts his foot on the chalk, or does the foot have to go inside the circle for it to be called a dead ball? If the pitcher goes inside the circle trying to field the ball, it's a dead ball. Runner gets first base. Now here's another thing that could happen is the ball is smoked. It's going to be a double or a triple, and poor baseball etiquette, the pitcher puts his foot inside the circle. Again, the pitcher should only be going inside the circle in the attempt to get the ball, and it should be by accident. It shouldn't be used as a way to cheat, to limit a triple into a single. So again, clarify with the umpire. My discretion is that the foot should be clearly inside the circle. Again, this rule exists to protect the players. It's not made to sort of alter the game of baseball. So if you're in charge of drawing your circle, don't draw it bigger than 4 foot from your center point, 4 foot radius, because the bigger the circle, the more it becomes in play. I like to get it nice and small as I can, but keeping within the rules of the game. So your 8 foot diameter is your goal. The pitcher has to stay out of the circle. The coach has to stay in the circle. And dead ball applies if the pitcher goes in or the ball's hit with anything inside the circle. Another rule about this pitcher is any ball thrown back to the pitcher should be caught by the kid, not by the coach. We're here to improve the players and not to sort of speed the game up because maybe that pitcher is having a hard time catching the ball. So pitching coach, I've seen some wear gloves, some not. You have to wear a helmet, and that helmet should be the same color as your uniform. The pitcher should have a face mask with their helmet, batting helmet, and those should be provided by your team. I don't know if I'm going to get this in 15 minutes. The pitching is the big one. Okay, this is another big one. Stopping the play, call of time. Get it in your ground rules with your umpires, because what's going to happen is the way it should work is the umpire does not call time until the baseball play is over. So just because the ball's brought into the infield, say the ball's hit to left field, thrown in the shortstop, and the shortstop says, time, I got the ball kind of thing, doesn't mean the runners have to stop. If there's continuous action, so if the runner is continuing their attempt to get to the next base, baseball play should take over. Just because you have the ball doesn't mean the runner has to stop. You have to get the ball in a position to make the runner want to stop running. Not all umpires are going to get that, especially if they're new to the rookie ball division, and it's very frustrating. Especially when you start getting 2 runners on base, you're going to get a runner, let's say, on third and first, and then all of a sudden that runner at first is going to try and go to second, and you're going to have the ball at third base, the third baseman. You're going to call, time, I got the ball, you have to stop. Well, no, he doesn't really have to stop as long as he's made continuous attempt to go to second. And then what's going to happen is your third baseman's going to try and throw the ball to second to get the guy out there, and then the guy on third is going to run home. Potentially the guy at second is going to drop the ball, and then the guy at second is going to run to third. And it becomes quite the sort of circus out there. Teams are going to get better as the season goes. But really, my goal is keep the ball in front of the lead runner, and you might have to sacrifice that runner going to second because you don't want to throw the ball away, letting the guy on third steal or advance home, not steal. There's no stealing. Runners have to keep their foot on the base until the ball is hit, or at least attempted to hit. I always tell my players, just wait till the ball's hit, because then you put the pressure on the umpire again to maybe call a leadoff. Anytime the bat is thrown or there's a leadoff, there should be a warning given to the team before that player is called out. So again, runners should have their foot on the base until the ball's hit. Outfielders, again, that 15 feet rule. Here's another one, hitting. You get 5 strikes. If you foul the 5th strike, you continue to go. You can foul 15 pitches in a row and still be alive. If you miss on that final 5th or beyond pitch, you're then out. No bunting and no walks. If the kid gets hit by the ball, and it did happen with my team because we had a very I won't mention the team I was playing at the time, but they had a really poor pitching machine. The ball was very erratic, and it was actually me putting the ball in the machine, hit my player, and he did not get awarded first base because it's in the rule. Now he's crying. We had to stop time for a bit, of course, but the ball should come pretty consistently over the plate. But if he does get hit, keep it on with hitting. No bunting again, and you got the strike rule. Pitching machine, you should be pitching. Pitching machine is a maximum of 40 and a minimum of 35. Keep it at 40. I think if you're at 35, you will see a little bit of an arc, a rainbow. The pitching machine should be at 44 feet, and the bases are at 65 feet. You might find that 38 is more desirable. A lot of teams played at 38 in minor rookie. I would get used to a faster speed, especially once tournaments come, because 35 and 38 and 40 is a big difference to the swing of the kid. Diameter of the bats, 2 3/4. You could use a wood bat. Not sure why you would when you could use the technology, the bats we have now. Umpires should be behind the catcher. Catcher should be in full gear with a jock on. It looks like I might get it done within 15 minutes. All players should really wear a jock. Another big thing you'll find is your infielders. If there's no play at the base, get out off the base. Let the base runner have access to running the bases without having to be making alterations to their path because your first baseman's standing on the base or your third baseman's standing on the base watching the ball in the outfield. Coaches, work with your infielders. Make sure they get out of the way. Again, I'll send this. I'm going to work on the schedule, but hope you enjoyed my 15-minute rant on the rules. I'm sure there'll be some questions. Bye for now.